You've probably heard the trick about taking apple cider vinegar and all of its health benefits. If you're wondering, is it worth the hype? The short answer is yes. Well, I'm a naturopathic doctor and I love helping people with their digestion. And one of the tricks that I'll often recommend is a little bit of apple cider vinegar before meals. So there are some specifications that you'll want to be mindful of. First one is with your apple cider vinegar, always make sure it's organic, so there's no pesticides, everything's all healthy and good for you. And then you always want to make sure that it says including the mother. The mother, you can see it here, is floating stuff at the bottom, or the chunky things. It's the part that has so many good probiotics in it, and it's the biggest potency. So why does this work? Why do people even do this? There is a laundry list of things that apple cider vinegar can be good for, and some of them I'll back more than others, but the one for sure that I will back is that it increases stomach acid. So apple cider vinegar it's got a little bit of a bitterness to it, but it also can help to stimulate stomach acid, and because it's a vinegar, it's got some of that acidity to it. So what happens when you have apple cider vinegar before meals is that it stimulates stomach acid to make more. And stomach acid, this might sound like counterintuitive. I don't need any more stomach acid. I already have heartburn. We'll talk about that in another video. But stomach acid is super important. So the main functions of that churning that happens right after you eat your food in the stomach is it helps to absorb protein, iron, B12. Those are the three big ones, but also a little bit of magnesium, a little bit of potassium too. Now, iron, I'll caveat that because iron is absorbed later in the digestive system, but what happens in the stomach is super important for it to be absorbed. Because basically, there's a structure of iron when you're eating it, and the stomach acid breaks that down and makes it into a different structure so that it can get absorbed later in the intestines. So stomach acid and apple cider vinegar help with the absorption of those nutrients. So you might have seen in the previous video when we were talking about iron deficiency, B12 deficiency, even protein deficiency. So these things happen, they're really quite common. And helping support your stomach acid can help those nutrients get into your cells and let your body use it more frequently and more easily. So always make sure, if you're going to try this, always make sure to use organic, have the mother. And then another piece to consider is you do want to dilute it. So it doesn't take much, just a little bit of apple cider vinegar and a little bit of water. So get yourself a cute little glass and put in a tablespoon of water and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Not much more than that. A little bit goes a long way. The reason you want to dilute it is just for teeth health. There's probably some dentists who are just hating that this apple cider vinegar thing is such a fad because it can erode the enamel if you're not careful. So that's why I recommend diluting it, and also recommend doing it 10 minutes before meals so that you're going to eat right afterwards. There's going to be some saliva happening in your mouth. There's going to be food happening in your mouth. So the apple cider vinegar is going to get used. It's not just going to stick around on your teeth. So the timing, 10 minutes before, that is key. If you start eating and you forget, it's too late. Do it with your next one. 10 minutes before gives it enough time to get into your stomach and it starts to churn the juices. You'll probably feel hungry because the stomach acid is starting to go. You might also feel like a little bit of a gnawing or burning sensation. That is that heat's being built. If of course it's uncomfortable, please take care of your body better than anyone. And this is a fun DIY hack to try. But what we're looking for is a bit of that stimulation happening. So 10 minutes before, it primes the pump for you to get ready for mealtime. And then by the time that you're sitting down and eating, your stomach is ready. It is fired up and ready to absorb those nutrients. So if you can, 10 minutes before, take your little shot of apple cider vinegar and water, and then start preparing your food, and then eat. So that if you're doing a quick little meal, or quick breakfast or lunch. One thing to note. So I love this trick. I love giving it a try and just seeing how it works for you if you need a little bit of digestive support. I will note that it's not the strongest thing. There are a lot of other ways to support digestion that are more effective and that are stronger, but this is a great home remedy. Nice, like folk remedy, if you will. And for some people, that's all you need. Some people do require a little bit more digestive support. And some of the stronger things are things that I'd recommend you find out with a healthcare professional or naturopath, someone that you're working with who knows the digestive system well and can give a personalized recommendation for you on what your body's needing. There are some ways to find out for sure how your digestion's doing and where in the digestive system your body's needing support. Because there's a lot of different organs in the digestive system, the stomach being one of them. So what if it's another organ that's needing more support? So I'll drop some links in the chat for what types of tests can be good to see how your body's doing. Then also feel free to book a free phone call with me. I've got a link there about what things are good for testing and figuring out what's a good way to support your nutrition and how to tell if your digestion isn't up to. So give me a call, book the free phone call link, and I'm excited to talk with you more. To your health.